So I'm going to say something controversial about why does nobody remember me in this world? And anytime I make comparisons, whether it's the most popular show of a season, the least popular show of the season, it doesn't matter. If I make any sort of comparison, someone gets up in arms. And I feel like because of how low seemingly the fan base is for a show like this, I don't think that's right. I think this should be one of the most popular shows, but I digress. And when I'm about to compare it to one of the most popular shows in recent memory, there are going to be some people who are going to be like, you're insane. But I'm going to be honest. This show is the first time since 86, the A1 Picture Show 86, that I've been so invested in a world where I immediately am like, I don't know what to expect. I really don't. Because we are now 3 episodes into this show, and while I definitely think I have general ideas, I still, with a straight face, can't say exactly what's happening. While I definitely think a show like 86 has more emotion on the character side, just given the type of show it is, this is clearly a mystery about uncovering the secrets of this world. World reincarnation? Did they just imply that the whole world reincarnated, which is why there's some similarities, some deja vu? I don't know. Did they casually reveal that Rina is, I guess, every embodiment of every race? I think so. I have no idea where we're going. And we're now I said it last week. It's very rare to get into a second episode, let alone a third episode now, and not actually have a pretty 90 to 95% idea of where a show's gonna go. Because once you see enough anime, it's very easy to see the paths and trajectory that a lot of these authors go for. But very similar to my feelings walking into the first few episodes and out of the first few episodes of 86, I say to myself, this world's like unlike anything I've really seen before, and I actually have no idea where they want to go, who the true threat is. I mean, Vanessa's out here just casually causing a ruckus, and then you still have this thing from the first episode or the second episode that's worming its way in, trying to destroy it. What the hell do we do? I have no idea. But I'm so glad to have another show similar to an 86 in terms of so thought-provoking of a world. Clearly very different styles, obviously. This is more of a fantasy, kind of Final Fantasy-esque situation versus, kind of military-grade war with kind of robotic, arachnid-like mechs. But at the end of the day, just the uncertainty and not knowing what's going to happen, it just has me saying, like, to me, this is now my placeholder as I wait for season 2 of that bad boy. Of course, I have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my mind break in real time, it's going to be over there exclusively. So there's a lot to unpack with this episode. First things first, let's just give a little round of applause. This episode alone had more visual creativity and flair than a lot of shows have had this year. The only real noticeable 3D in this episode was the 3D vehicles at the start of the episode. And then we have demons. We have all these different forms. One looks like a dinosaur. One looks like... The fact that these things are hand-drawn, and the number of times I look at the visual flair of this episode and I say, how in God's name, this is the first episode, sure, you put that extra attention. We're on episode 3, and they're actually getting better with visual flair. It's insane to witness. But first things first, world reincarnation. So, at face value, Vanessa has no idea either of what's going on. Seemingly the only characters who have any idea of what the original world was is our central 2 characters. And there definitely is some signs of skepticism, because it's like, I don't think she's lying, but when we say Sid, when we mention the key, like, things started triggering. And I don't think it's like some old wives' tale that's causing her to be like, wait a second. I honestly think she believes this is just the way the world's always been, but there must be some rumors. There must be some fear that if anything, like if a Sid ever comes, you have to worry about, losing your spot in power. I don't know. But when it gets brought up about world reincarnation, so we know we had that whole Steins Gate thing go on where the world kind of glitched and then we end up in this apocalyptic where apparently humanity's never won. My gut still says that it's a redo of this world where it's like something happened, something got overwritten, and that's why so much is the same but yet slightly different, and those slight differences caused for humanity to basically almost be extinct. So the big question is, what caused world reincarnation? or even if it's not a world reincarnation, what caused this all to happen. And it's probably linked to the key, it's probably linked to Sid, but now I'm starting to think it's linked to whatever that species, that monster thing is that tried to end Vanessa, which then obviously got its ship pushed back. But fascinating, for sure. Very, very fascinating. And I was actually looking, it's actually a shorter, I think it's only like 7 light novels or something like that. It's a finished series. It ran for like a few years. So I'm actually interested to see if we could end up getting a full adaptation over a couple of seasons. But either way, this is a very, very interesting turning point for the show, because you kind of think, at least I know I did, walking into this episode, I'm like, man, this feels like we're approaching the final battle, right? Like, this would be like, in a lot of stories' hands, you would be dealing with, you know, trying to build the trust of everyone, and then you'd go tackle the final battle. Now they know different fighting styles, and then we take her out, and then all's well that ends well. And instead, by episode 3, we're already going up against who is basically what we think the final boss, and then extra final bosses pop up, and I'm like, what in the actual... Okay? Renee is a character who I was kind of under the impression was part demon, part angel. Turns out is apparently a part everything. The demons are basically saying she smells like dwarves, elves, this, that, and the third, and I'm like, is she a chimera? Is she literally the embodiment of all life? Apparently she's hated, but like, I don't know. But that raises some questions. Apparently our girlfriend-to-be is killing herself. So apparently using what she's using in terms of these elven pieces of equipment, her sword turns into a bow. It's pretty badass. Cuts her life force down. So let's really hope we get back to the original world, because it definitely seems like before the show's over, she gonna kill herself because of obviously draining her life force to use these pieces of equipment. But what the hell? Like, the more I see, the more I'm just like, I'm so enthralled, I'm so fascinated by this world, but most importantly, I legitimately don't know where we're going. My gut spitball idea right now is that something happened with the sword, the key that our boy's wielding, that maybe has some ability to even overwrite the world. And it reincarnated the whole world, but why didn't it happen to our boy? Why didn't it happen to our girl? Hard to say, maybe because he's technically Sid and it's going to be some time travel weird shenanigans going on, I don't know. Or because he's destined to be Sid now as it reincarnates, I don't know. But either way, I have no idea where we go. I honestly think the only ones who know of the original world are our Central 2, but there's obviously enough, like, there's skepticism I have about things happening. Why are there rumors clearly spread among the demons about certain things? Because once we mentioned Sid, who apparently Sid doesn't exist currently in this world, that she started to get worried. It's hard to say. Who's friend, who's foe, what's real, what's fake? At this point, though, I am gonna commit. Even though our boy is under the impression that he went to a different world, I'm sticking by my guns from the first episode that this is the same world, just overwritten, and world reincarnation kind of lends to credibility with that. Let me know what you're thinking down below. I'm sure I'm the only person getting 86 fives in terms of that fascinating world, but it is what it is. That's how I'm feeling. Let me know your feelings though down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around, of course ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Extrin, Jessica Compton, Fate, Snake Eater 7, Nathan Semichuk, and we also have Zeshram. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.